practices, do you think?
That is a challenging thing to actually look at, and it all depends on where the product comes from.
Yeah.
There's a lot of products out there that will come from a traditional ERP or financial kind of background, where your kind of dimensional relationships, things like that, don't use best practice. So things like parent-child dimensions, the inability to use aggregates, those become more and more challenging. But there is a suite of products that's starting to come out that utilizes the BI best practices. I mean, we're using one technology called Time Extender, which we're finding very exciting, because while it's not purely focused at the business user, it's actually focused at the development or let's call them the BI architect type of profile. And what this allows people to do is actually to build proper star schema data warehouses. Okay. It generates the ETL for you and integration services, and you can actually build your cubes and things as well. But what is interesting is that you can utilize the best practices, things like surrogate keys. Yeah, I mean, who here started off building cubes based on natural keys, things like that? I mean,
we've all been burnt along the way.
Yeah, absolutely. But allowing you to do things like surrogate keys, the ability to do levels of orphan handling, the handling of nulls, all those types of things really needs to be applied in a very rigid sense in data warehousing solutions. Otherwise, you won't be able to scale up and get your increased performance in your solution.
So again, what we're really saying is that we're somehow managing to lift the developer up to that level of business understanding, so they don't get so lost in the details of building packages that they completely miss the business benefit of why they're there.
Absolutely. Yeah, what the developer can do now, and the business analyst, is they can actually start engaging with the customer in the real value elements that the customer
Absolutely.
has.
So we're not going to disappear for 2 months down a black hole.
Absolutely.
Very good. So the third way of accelerating a build is, you mentioned something about sort of a framework or kind of a vertical solution.
That's right. Yeah. There are a couple of vertical type solutions, or maybe some that are a little bit more horizontally focused, that have also emerged. If we take some, we're in the process currently of implementing a BI solution that has pre-built dashboards, scorecards, analytics for the sales manager and the sales reps. We call it sales performance. And there's a couple of other applications out there that allow you to do this kind of solution, which is very focused on either an operational area or on a specific vertical. And what that type of acceleration does is it's an acceleration not on the build of a generic data warehouse or BI solution. It's an acceleration that's actually built on a specific knowledge or subject area where there's a lot of IP that has physically been built into the solution. I mean, one of the exciting things that Microsoft has released is the Microsoft Enterprise Cube Suite. The first one is around telcos. Well, in actual fact, I should actually be asking you, seeing as you're the guy who actually went on the training.
Yeah, you can throw it back at me. I don't mind that at all. I had the pleasure of, in February, going through to Seattle and getting some training on this thing called the Microsoft Enterprise Cube. And what Microsoft have done is they've taken best practice deployments at a particular telco, and they've taken those project bits and extracted them into a format that allows it to be, kind of deployed at a different client site very, very quickly. So as you mentioned, they've built in a lot of those kind of key metrics that a telco would be concerned about. Things like customer revenue, customer churn, customer profitability, all those things that are really important to a telco are actually built into the cube already. So again, what we're doing is we're putting it in there and delivering business value really, really quickly.
And again, I think one of the key elements with these things is that it does actually accelerate your deployment. So things that have taken, in some cases, years to develop because of business discovery, uncovering the IP, uncovering the key metrics that an organization or that a vertical has, all that kind of knowledge is now prepackaged. So you've got a starting point against which you can accelerate your BI deployment or accelerate the time to value for an organization.
And what's particularly cool about the MEC specifically is they've used some really, really neat Virtual Earth and Silverlight plugins inside of Performance Point dashboards to really sexy up their front end, which is really exciting.
Well, it's all about the customer and user experience.
Hey, it's all about user experience, but that's a whole other discussion.
Absolutely.
So there we go. So there's many different ways of accelerating our build.
Yeah.
Okay,
And so just to cover the three that we've kind of identified, is there's code-based acceleration, so it's utilizing and having your prepackaged code elements that you as a developer can utilize and share with other developers. There's the second component, which is using a third-party product, like the time extender product, to be able to accelerate the build of a solution and get time to value to the customer very quickly on generic solutions. And then lastly, there's the vertical or specific horizontally focused solution sets in BI that have the prepackaged IP, such as the Microsoft Enterprise Cubes.
Excellent. Thanks for the chat.
Yeah, thank you very much, Gab.